Hello, welcome back to Orphan Espresso. I'm Doug.
I'm Barb.
And this is the Put It All Together video of the manual. I believe we're on video 4 now. If you're following, this is page 4. That's handy. Okay, I've got the grinder all apart. I've cleaned it out. I've removed the coffee. I've done whatever I want to do. And the first thing I do is I assemble the modules. Now this is a reverse thread. Anti-clockwise, left-handed, whatever you want to call it. This goes on in the reverse direction. This is so when you're grinding coffee, it doesn't loosen up, okay? Make sure it's good and tight. The top one, this is a right-hand thread, a normal thread, a clockwise thread. This goes on thusly, good and tight. Let me find out where I am. When the platform is assembled properly, you should be able to move this to 2100. Okay, and it stops. It's all the way down. So, okay, I will set this 1 click below 0. Okay, that's where we start. The axle is basically, it just slides in, comes out this end. That's the spring at work. Okay, I lay it down on its side, and I assemble this system. First goes the thrust, the washer, then goes the needle, then goes the other thrust. Okay, and I take this is loose, not real loose, but it's loose. All right.
You're talking about the locking pin.
The locking pin, all right. Now I hold this against the top, put my thumb here and 2 fingers. I hold this. Now this is to start the thread. I hold this flat and I turn this, okay. That's so my threads are nice and parallel, and I can just start the thread with no danger of damaging the thread at all. We really insist on you doing this way.
If you do it any other way, you may damage the threads in the brass part.
I feel that I'm pretty good with my hands as far as doing mechanical things, but that's the first thing I did when I first got my brand new OG. Well, it was the first one ever built. I thought, boy, this is dangerous. Getting this thing on. I don't want to cross thread this. Okay, so I do this just for a little while. You see now, I'm even with the top. Now I push in.
When you say even with the top, show me that again, please.
My brass is pretty much even with the top of the axle. Okay, now I push in and I finish it off here. Remember, I'm set at 1 click below 0. Okay, there's my 0, 1 click below 0. And I just move this with my finger until it just, I'm not forcing it at all. It just naturally stops. Okay? Now, at this point, I can't turn it. Okay? Now I have this light rub. That's the reason why you wanted to observe your 0 and what 0 feels like. Now, in my opinion, I pushed it a little too hard. Let me address that again. What's happening here is that you're doing a couple of things. One is that you're compressing the needle-bearing thrust washer system. And you just want to snug it up and so it touches. Okay, and I want to check. Can I click it more? I can't move it. I can't move it beyond that click. I go back here and I have a light rub. I still think that I've got it a little too tight. I want a nice solid click below. And that's pretty nice. Can you hear it? That's my burr rubbing, okay? Now I'm set up. Remember to tighten this fully. I'm set up at 0. From experience, I found that your different feelings of this rub, it might vary 10 microns either way. But you say, I want a full click. It won't go farther. It won't go to another click. That's my setup.
And you make that adjustment by changing the position of the brass disc.
Of the brass disc. If it's too tight, if when I've got it set on 0, it's really hard to turn or it drags an awful lot, you want to set the disc a little bit coarser. You hold it still. You hold it still by the burr and you move this a little bit in the C direction. Now you can set this up so there's no sound at all at 0. You know, I can move this out another 20 or 30 microns in the C direction until I can get rid of all that whispering. If that's my choice, and that's your choice too. If it really aggravates you that, you know, that you've got a little sound at 0, because the relative numbers will all be the same. It's just where you start. You'll start a little bit farther down. Okay? And that's my setup right there. I put the handle on opposite the adjustment pin. Start that, spin it down, tighten it up. And that's my put it together. Now the main thing, the main take-home message here is to make sure we even have drawings, is to make sure you use this method to maintain the longevity of that, both the fine threaded on the brass and the fine thread on the axle, you know. And basically it's here, we say, do not do this, do not, every place. From what we can tell, it's the way that you can hurt the machine. And as long as you follow that basic technique, you're going to be just fine. Okay, so now I'm all set up. My 0 feels good. It all feels good. Now, that same technique that I just showed about setting the 0, that's what you do if you get it out of whack. You don't necessarily have to take the handle off to do that. You can check. I want one solid click below. And it's really grabby. I want one solid click below. If I can get 2 solid clicks, I need to readjust it.
And that would be changing the
I'd have
brass disc in the fine direction.
Right. If I have 2 solid discs, I loosen this, I loosen the adjustment pin, and I set it there, and I come down. See, I'm not pushing hard at all. That's my stop. Real tight. Go back here. Just fine. So you can touch it up and you can check it at any time, basically by doing this check here. One nice solid click below, not a mushy click, not a half a click, but a click. That's our setup point. Okay. Anything else on this part, Barb?
I think that's it.
Okay, then do we have another one? Manual. Oh, this is called Final Checkup Setting Adjustment Range.
That's what you just did.
That's what I just did?
Mm-hmm.
Step follow the procedure. Repeat the procedure. Okay, I think that's the manual. That's a video manual. I hope this has been helpful, and it's, as Barb said earlier, it's really not that complicated. You can get a little confused by, instead of adding microns or subtracting, you go in the wrong direction every once in a while, but it takes just not very long to get used to it. And I would re-emphasize that when your grinder is new, the burr is going to feel a little rougher. It will break in over time. I'd give it 10 pounds of coffee, maybe more. But I believe that's the manual. I'm going to do another video where I'm going to talk about alignment, because I know somebody is going to want to check the alignment or take this module apart and need to address that issue. So we'll do one more video and we'll see you next time.